Thank you, Madam President and trustees. We'll actually do a general superintendent update and then move into a specific update around Bryant Pattengill. We just are so grateful to our students and staff and families for a strong wrap up to the school year. Trustees, I had the great opportunity to help clap out the Abbott fifth graders on Friday around noon, and Star, the therapy dog, had a long line of children to bid her goodbye for the year, and it was just a great end to the school year. I know it's been, I talk to teachers all the time and appreciated getting to visit with the Abbott teachers on Friday, and wide consensus that this has been truly the most challenging of their careers. And I just want to give a big shout out and hope folks are getting some rest and rejuvenation over this summer. Now, starting on Monday, we opened both academic. I was over at Huron yesterday, and the music program was already in full swing on Monday. And we've opened our recreation summer camps as well. So we are busy in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. And in addition, trustees, you saw evidence in the Skyline parking lot when you arrived this evening. Construction and rehab and cleaning, those efforts are ongoing all over the district. We have exactly about 8 to 10 weeks to get things in shape and ready for the start of the 22 school year. I want to share this evening, in honor of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, the Asian Pacific Islander South Asian American Parent Group of Ann Arbor Public Schools organized several district-wide events through the month of May. The first of these events you remember hearing about, trustees, was a virtual poetry workshop with an award-winning local poet and AAPS alumna, Carlina Dwan. After the workshop, Carlina invited our students to submit poetry on the themes of home, community, and identity. From the submissions, Carlina crafted a collaborative crowdsourced poem entitled Where We're From. This is a brief video, trustees, but it is delightful to see how this poem turned out.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for watching our video poem. My name is Carlina Dwan, and I'm a poet in the community, and I'm honored to share space with 4 poets from Ann Arbor Public Schools today in celebration of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I hosted a workshop titled Where We're From earlier in May, and many students from Ann Arbor Public Schools chimed in and wrote poem responses to our writing prompts. So this result is a group poem by many students from Ann Arbor Public Schools. And we're joined today by 4 poet readers, Isaac, Caitlin, Zia, and Cameron, who are going to help read this group poem by all of us. So this is called Where We're From.
As we sit down, new ideas flow through our heads. We grab our pens, and the click, click, click guides our thoughts. We take our notebooks and take out the elastic. Thwang! It flies back, opening up to a new blank page. Lines waiting to be written on. The swift, smooth pen stroke gliding across the paper.
This is where we're from.
Scribbling pencil, screws worn down over years of study, oxidized metal and ersatz wood. Paint rolling down a canvas, mixing colors on the palette, the scent of summer, new grass, sunscreen, tomatoes, sweet, salty, the feeling of mud as we fall on our knees.
This is where we're from.
Up north to the waves, avocados on bread, balconies, yellow flowers, water splashing on the rocks, a soft blue and green tablecloth, birds chirping, a lullaby plays.
This is who we are.
Loyal bookworms, members of the AADL Royal Court, caretakers and friends to each other, animal lovers, our dogs with protruding teeth, hazel eyes, tiny kittens running, and their deep, hopeful eyes filled with wonder, music lovers and composers, authors, poets, artists, actresses, athletes, friends, cousins, students, teachers, dreamers.
This is where
we're from.
We look up at the gentle faces. They surround us. How much we do for one another. Home? What's the definition, really? A shack, a 3-story mansion? We don't need either. The world will tell you one thing, but we will tell you this.
We are who we are, and we don't need repair.
We're ready for the days ahead.
Just want to give special thanks for the work on this poetry project to AAPS teacher Jocelyn Hunter-Young, poet Carlina Dwan, and APISA board member Zanli Tang. I thought it turned out beautifully, and I'm so proud of that work. 2 of our Ann Arbor Public Schools teachers have been named quarterfinalists in the Grammy Awards 2023 Music Educator Award. So this past week, Abigail Alwyn, Director of Orchestras at Clegg Middle School, and David Leach, Director of Bands at Pioneer High School, the press release came out this past week. The Music Educator Award was established to recognize current working educators, kindergarten through college, public and private, who have made a significant and lasting contribution to the field of music education and who demonstrate a commitment to the broader cause of maintaining music education in the schools. So congratulations to Ms. Alwyn and Mr. Leach. The award, as you may remember, trustees, is a partnership from between the Recording Academy and the Grammy Museum. There were 207 teachers chosen from among 1,500 nominations, and they'll move forward with the process in September. We look forward next Thursday evening. It's going to occur virtually again this year to celebrating our 51 Ann Arbor Public Schools retirees. I'm so proud of their careers and their work. And trustees, I'll make sure that you get that information. It'll be on our website also for the community. I do want to give a shout out to our retiring principals. Trustees, we had a great opportunity to have an outdoor meeting yesterday under the arch at Huron High School. And just a shout out to Bob Wellman at Skyline, Chris Curtis at Ann Arbor Open, Cindy Lehman at A2 Virtual, Chuck Hatt at Burns Park, and Gary Court, who collectively logged 165 years in service to children, schools, and community, and most of those years right here in Ann Arbor. Of course, trustees, Gary Court spoiled the average with 46 years of service, all in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. So thanks to those administrators, and we look forward to celebrating all on our staff next week. School is out, but I want to mention the free meals for kids and teens that are still available for any family in need of food. The Food Gatherers Summer Food Service Program begins June 20th. That's in just a few days, and it runs through August 19th. So you can go online to foodgatherers.org to find a location near you. We want to make sure that our students, our children and families are well fed in Ann Arbor over the summer. On that same note, and trustees, I've been able to connect with a few of you, and we'll be wrapping to more of you on this topic. I was encouraged this week to see the Kids Not Red Tape Act introduced by our own U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow and U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski. This would extend the USDA meal flexibilities through September 20th of 2023 and would continue the program that Congress has allowed state education agencies and schools throughout the pandemic. I was sharing some of this out on Twitter and engaged with lots of folks who, like I and like you all, feel strongly about food security for children while at school. Yesterday, the State Board of Education adopted a resolution supporting the congressional bill to give families and schools time to adjust as schools return to more normal operations. The governor pointed out that all Michigan students deserve to access quality, affordable food in schools so they can stay focused on learning and getting on track for long-term success. Trustees, you have that full press release attached to the superintendent update documents for your reference. I want to make it clear that currently Congress has not extended the waiver. So we are not able at this time to offer universal food that has been available for the 2 previous years. Without them extending this, we will have fewer children in the Ann Arbor Public Schools who will have access to meals in schools, meals that help ensure children are well fed and ready to learn. I shared with you all, trustees, a recent piece from the Washington Post on this topic. Andy Zimmerman says it this way: imagine forcing a child to pay an extra fee to walk through the schoolhouse door. Making any child or family pay for school meals when that meal is as important to their health, education, and well-being as anything they learn in the classroom is a similarly absurd notion. School meals for all were a long time coming, and now that they are here, we have seen the impact. We should not let them go. Regardless of family income, and as a former school principal and school teacher for 2 decades, I see it, and trustees, you see that so often these are students who simply skip meals because they're not able to access meals while at school. So regardless of family income, no child should ever have to pay for school meals. Every child deserves healthy meals at no charge. In response to one of my tweets, I was really impressed with Megan Harris, one of our beautiful elementary teachers, who shared her own personal experience. She said it this way: I was the free and reduced child in a fairly wealthy school. I felt shameful and often saved up my own money because I wanted to pay full price. I didn't want my friends to know. A student shouldn't have to worry about food at school. There are enough things to worry about. I know, trustees, that you all, like I, feel strongly committed to having this as a priority. We will continue to advocate and observe the next steps that Congress takes in this area. And as I've been able to share with some of you, and will wrap to all of you over the coming days, I am working on a plan to bring forward to you in Ann Arbor Public Schools that would be similar to the ones used in Maryland and California if we are unable to achieve this goal for Michigan students the right way, which is through state and federal intervention. So I just wanted to put a flag in that this evening because we're all thinking ahead to next year, and it will be a cliff for families to face this if we're not able to come up with another strategy. We've already mentioned that we are following a summer set of guidance for COVID in mitigation in our schools, including masking. In addition, trustees, as of today, we're also dealing with a heat wave in the middle of our summer activities. So I have attached the summer guidance for COVID to the superintendent's update. I will note that in my weekly update to the community. We are shorthanded with our nursing team taking a much deserved summer break. And so we will be modifying some of our strategies, certainly still in full compliance with our health department expectations. We will continue with our improved ventilation and all of our other COVID mitigation measures in our schools throughout the summer. I thank the community so much for their partnership, and thank you for your support, trustees. If it's okay, we'll just move to part B, which is really about Bryant Pattengill. We are on this mission to update on so many projects that were in full swing before COVID. And during COVID, we continued the work, but we've not updated on every one of these. So one of the projects, trustees, as you recall, is the Bryant Pattengill Re-Envision project, and was actually approved by the board in June of 2019, and then the phase 2 was approved in January of 2020. And I'll be sending a message to the Bryant Pattengill community tomorrow, just as a reminder and an update on our progress. As you recall, trustees, there were about 3 legs to this re-envision process. We're going to show you some photos and just touch back on our progress so far. As a part of the school redesign, we added preschool. We planned for significant improvements to the Bryant Pattengill school physical properties. And we also planned for the implementation of enhanced programming featuring a preschool program. You remember, trustees, the data that Bryant neighborhood was the highest number of Head Start qualified children in the county in that neighborhood. So we were delighted that you all supported adding the preschool there. And we also planned for international baccalaureate preschool through 5th grade, so that every child would have the global learning opportunity and a full world language experience as a part of their elementary. In the physical enhancements, I won't go through the entire list. Mr. Cluley is going to put up some photos, because trustees, I understand that not all of us have even been able with COVID, understandably, to be in the building. So I just, if you want to glance at some of these photos, you can see the landscape improvements, the new sign, new entry sunshade. The lobby was completely redesigned. The media center lifted that ceiling, got the skylights in, glass walls, opened it up. A collaboration space, including a new open ceiling, skylights, glass walls, lighting, electrical. You can see here the photos of all of that in progress. We removed the mid hallway doors and opened up some beautiful hallways. Before, the school was kind of broken up, and now there are more open spaces. The gymnasium had acoustical panels installed, which were really needed because that's a small elementary gymnasium. The core classrooms were all redone with new windows, lights, LED lighting, floors, cabinets, paints, shade, and ceilings. And then we added 2 preschool classrooms at Bryant, and you remember, trustees, those have to be built according to code. So these are, we're fully licensed there now. These are the real deal preschool classrooms. And then we also added a solar array on the roof. Now, over at Pattengill, exterior there, that old metal roof was replaced. In the lobby, flooring, lights, clean brick, display cases, just a whole new look. cafeteria painting, collaboration space, core classrooms, the same kind of renovation of the classrooms with the LED lighting, floors, cabinet paint, shade, and ceilings. And I'm so happy for Pattengill. They got completely air conditioned, which was a big need there. And a solar array on the roof there, major roofing project, and then also the driveway, which very much needed some repair. In December of 2019, the board approved the purchase of the parcel of land between Bryant and Ellsworth. You recall, trustees, that our next steps there is to open the Bryant property onto Ellsworth with the driveway there that will allow improved safety with multiple entrances, accessing the property so that cars can use one and the buses can use the other one, and make it a lot easier and safer in that neighborhood. So we do anticipate bringing forward the additional entrance to the Bryant property in 2024, to be completed in 2024, and we'll be talking to the bond committee and to all the trustees about next steps in that process. Now, as you all are aware on these projects that we've been working through during COVID, the physical property items, we can check those off. We're 100% trustees. They all got done. The training and development and implementation of International Baccalaureate needed to be placed on hold during those 2 years. So you recall that we chose IB because of the research data that shows support, shows effectiveness with African American students, students from poverty, immigrant, and second language students, both P12 outcomes as well as post-secondary engagement. So the IB program is an important part of what will be BRIPAT, Scarlet, Huron. So it's the full continuum, preschool beginning at 2 years of age, International Baccalaureate, all the way through 12th grade. And so just a reminder, trustees, this is a 3-year process. So this fall, Bryant will enter the first year, which is called the, I want to say it right, the candidacy year. And so they will be busy during this year learning about IB, International Baccalaureate. The staff and the community, parents and students will learn more about that process. So we anticipate 3 years, and then International Baccalaureate will be fully authorized there at the Bryant Pattengill locations. At that time, we'll be able to affix the seal and to be fully approved to offer that programming. So I wanted to share that as one of a series. You know, trustees, we've been wrapping back in so many of our areas just to press that refresh button as to what was completed during COVID and what are our next steps to refresh on these endeavors. So I hope that this update has been helpful for the trustees, and I appreciate your patience in sharing it. Thank you.